Welcome back to the Marc Cox Show. I have to tell you, for many years of my television career, I worked the morning shift. And in television, the morning shift is about 3 in the morning. You have to be there at 3 or 3:30 a.m. There's no way around that. I did it when I worked in Greenville, South Carolina. I did it when I worked at KMOV for 13 years as the anchor of News 4 This Morning. So when you're driving into work at that hour, you're flipping around to the radio stations, and I became a big fan of a radio show called Coast to Coast AM. And the host of that is George Noory now. And George, I was listening back when Art Bell used to be in charge of his show, but welcome to St. Louis. Welcome back to St. Louis.
It's always great, Mark, to come back here. First of all, congratulations on you being here on this incredible station.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm thrilled. This is a great job, and thrilled for the opportunity. Yeah.
Nothing like radio.
Oh, nothing like it.
But it is a great show, and I started listening to Art back in 1996 when I was doing some fill-in radio in the market for a couple stations. I would come in the wee hours, and I would do the same thing. I wanted to listen to a few little things or get some pointers on what's going on today so I could talk about it. And I stumbled across Coast to Coast with Bell, and I used to do that a lot when I was younger in my TV days.
Yes.
All these unusual and strange stories. So I said to myself, gosh, that's what I want to do. If I ever elevate my career, I want to do talk radio, but deal with the strange, the unusual, the mysteries, and voila, here I am.
Well, just to give people some background on George, because I know you know the name, obviously, but you were in the television news business, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for a while were the news director at KSDK, correct?
I came here in 1979,
Okay.
hired Karen Foss.
All right.
You remember that
I
name?
absolutely
Right?
know her well.
Put her together with Dick Ford, and brought in a lot of other people, Jennifer Blome, Aaron Mermelstein. We took that station that they could barely edit video and get it on the air. They were doing an old CMX editing system. And we changed all that and stayed very strong in the ratings for a number of years. I really enjoyed it. But, you know, in this business, you change. You know, and I went into public relations at Fleischman Hillard, bought a company, did a lot of video production, did the Cardinal telecasts technically.
Wow.
Did a lot of that. And then one day I was at home, not knowing what I was going to do with my career. And I was watching talk radio, the movie with Eric Bogosian. It was about Alan Berg, a Denver talk show host who was killed by neo-Nazis. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want to do a show like that. I don't want to get killed by neo-Nazis.
I was going to say, that's a bad outcome.
But I want to do a show like that. And then it started. The evolution occurred, and here I am.
And you were listening to the man that used to broadcast from the high desert. I remember Art Bell used to say that all the time. He's in the high desert. And although he would never tell his location. That's pretty cool.
You can't.
You can. I'll bet you can. Yeah. Coast to Coast AM. I just going to the website will give you a flavor of what the radio show's about. If maybe you're not up late enough at night to have listened to it, but I encourage you to check it out here on FM News Talk 97.1. Your lead video right now is a family that's got a ghost dog captured on video somewhere in the UK, and it's. You watch it, and it sends a chill down your spine to watch this.
That's amazing stuff that's happening all over this planet. Stories that people would say, nah, that's crazy, that's ridiculous. They're not saying that anymore. I mean, it begins to grow and grow and grow. And what we've done, Mark, is we've tweaked the program. Because of my news background, I said, look, you can't just do paranormal 100% of the time. There's too much going on this planet right now.
Right.
So we are into conspiracies. We do talk about the election with a coast-to-coast twist. It's the strangest campaigning I have ever seen in my life. But we do a lot of that, and the audience loves us. We're at 615 stations now in North America.
Wow.
It is just continuing to grow.
It's huge. So I have to ask this as someone who listened to the show for a number of years. Can you think of the strangest subject that's been brought up on your show? Because there is a lot of strange things that people will call in about grays, and I hear Paranormal Tuesday here on the Dave Glover Show all the time. But can you think of something that strikes you as one of the oddest stories that you've dealt with?
Mark, there are so many, but just a few of them very quickly for you. I got a call one day from a woman who was in her hot tub holding her cell phone, crying. And she was crying because she couldn't see any stars. And I don't know what happened to me, but I told her they all burned out. I said, stars have a certain life, and you can't see them because they have burned out. They're gone. And she starts sobbing and crying.
Oh my God.
And I should have told her I'm kidding, but I didn't. And then I asked her, what's the weather like where you are? And she said, well, it's cloudy. Things like that. I got a call from a cop once who said that they got a run that there was a heart attack victim in a house. And they got to the house, opened the door, a little old man let them in, and they see another person on his stomach. They roll him over. It's the little old man who let them in.
Oh my God.
I mean, how does that happen? They turned around to look at that guy. He was gone. I mean, so we get things like that all the time.
And it's makes for fascinating radio, let me tell you. Well, let me tell you the reason that George is here. So on Saturday, June 18th at Lindenwood University at the J. Scheidegger Center out there for the Arts. Beautiful facility, by the way, if you haven't seen it. George is going to be there. He's going to have a couple of special guests. Let me have you talk about the special guests you're bringing in.
Special guest, Stanton Friedman was my very first radio interview when I was 21 years old in Detroit.
Oh, wow.
He is the father of modern-day ufology. We're going to talk with him about just what's going on this planet. Were we seeded? Are we being visited? But he's coming in from Canada as one of the guests. R. Gary Patterson is going to be on. He is a music historian. He has a story called the 27 Club. It is how all these incredible artists have died at the age of 27. And it is bizarre. And we've got a great group of folks from 97.1. Glover, Close.
Yes.
Farley's coming to talk about some unusual stuff. So it's going to be great. Mixed in with all of this, Mark, I sing as a hobby. So
Okay.
we're going
All
to
right.
have a full band there, and I'll do a whole medley of songs throughout the course of the event, which is going to last 2 to 3 hours.
That's
We'll do a
awesome.
meet and greet and everything else. Tickets are available through your website, 971talk.com.
Yeah, check it out. It's a live stage show, so you're going to get some interaction. They'll do some live interviews. You can even get VIP tickets, and it gives you prime seating and all that stuff for the meet and greet. And it sounds really exciting. Saturday, June 18th. The Scheidegger Center is we're not talking about something that's the size of Scottrade. The seating is somewhat limited. So while we're still a couple of months out, maybe a good idea to go to the website 971talk.com and look into securing some of those tickets, because I think for your fans certainly, and for people that are listening to this interview, this is something you're not going to want to miss.
This is my first live stage show in St. Louis, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I have to tell you, George, it's an honor to finally to see you again. It's been at least 10 or 12 years. I know when I was still at Channel 4, I ran into you one time.
We sure did.
And I think maybe you were at a competing radio station at the time.
I may have been.
Whose name will go unmentioned on the air here. So good. Well, best of luck with everything, and hopefully people will tune in overnights, coast to coast AM, right here on FM News Talk 97.1. George, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.